Ukraine forces continue to inflict the biggest blow to Russia's army in decades, as the invading country was warned of a fight to the end in Kiev. If they decide to carp it, and simply erase the history of this region, the history of the Kievan Rus, the history of Europe, and destroy all of us, then they will enter Kiev, Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky said on Saturday. If that's their goal, let them come in, but they will have to live on this land by themselves. The Russian assault across Ukraine raged on Saturday, as explosions were heard in Kyiv, and fighting intensified around the capital. Ukrainian officials have accused Russian forces of killing 7 civilians, including a child, as women and children tried to flee the nearby village of Peremoha. The bulk of Russian ground forces are about 25 kilometers from the city, the UK's Ministry of Defence estimated on Saturday. Despite the onslaught, Mr. Zelensky claimed Ukrainian forces are inflicting the biggest blow to Russia's army in decades, saying that 31 Russian tactical battalion groups had lost capability, and more than 360 Russian tanks have been lost. A convoy of Russian tanks is ambushed by Ukrainian forces. Twitter. He also said that groups of Russian troops were surrendering to Ukrainian forces, but that Russia is now recruiting fighters, reservists, conscripts, and mercenaries to outnumber Ukrainian forces. He added about 1,300 Ukrainian troops had been so far, and urged the US and its allies to get more involved in peace negotiations. A few small towns just don't exist anymore. And this is a tragedy. They are just gone. And people are also gone, Mr. Zelensky said. Russia denies targeting civilians since invading Ukraine on February 24 and blames Ukraine for failed attempts to evacuate civilians from encircled cities. Evacuation of civilians from Ukraine's Irpin and Bucha towns continue in the Kiev region. Anadolu Agency A third Russian general, Major General Andriy Kolesnikov, has been by Ukrainian forces. Russia on Saturday warned the US that it would fire on weapon shipments to Ukraine, raising the risk of direct confrontation between Moscow and a NATO country. Russian Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Ryabkov said convoys with foreign weapons would be legitimate targets. Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky holds a press conference on Saturday. Anadolu Agency We warned the United States that pumping Ukraine with weapons from a number of countries orchestrated by them is not just a dangerous move, but these are actions that turn the corresponding convoys into legitimate targets, Ryabkov said Saturday on the Russian state-run Channel 1. In Ukraine, Russia has faced defiance from the public in the past 2 weeks. On Saturday, several hundred people swarmed the city hall in the southern Ukrainian city of Melitopol following the arrest of its mayor, Ivan Fedorov, by armed men the day before. Shortly after Fedorov's detention, the Russian-backed Luhansk regional prosecutor claimed he had committed terrorism offenses, allegations that Mr. Zelensky called a crime against democracy on Saturday. With CNN and agencies. Watch the latest news on Channel 7 or stream it for free on 7+.